Alright, Travel, so today I thought I'd do a bit of a comparison between these two bags here from Bellroy, which is the Lite Ready Pack and the Lite Daypack. Now they are quite similar in size. This one is actually 18 liters, so slightly smaller. It is the newer of the two bags from the Lite range, and this one is 20 liters, which is one of the first backpack styles from the Lite range. When I first saw the Lite Ready Pack, I thought I really liked the design of this one. It reminded me a lot of the Venture Ready backpack, which I did a previous review on, but it has the same similar design choices with the zip in the front pocket and stuff like that. But it comes in at a very nice, manageable 350 grams. And the interesting thing is that even though this one is slightly less capacity at 18 liters, this one and this one are both the same weight. So this is also 350 grams while empty. So I'll just quickly go through a couple of the things that are different on them and which one that I actually preferred using in my testing. So they both do have this little front loop here, good for attaching a carabiner like this hero clip, for example, or you could also attach some kind of light on there like an LED light. So if you're cycling with this bag, for example. Now they are both made from this nice light material, which I've found to be very durable. This one is actually, the white one does seem to get marked a little bit, depending on what you put in it and what it scrapes against. There's a couple of little marks here, but it's nothing that damages the bag, and I think that actually gives it character. So if we take a look at the outside of the bags, you can see on the top here, the Lite Ready has a very, very nice soft grab handle here, which I actually prefer. This one has a more traditional, just a simple loop, which is probably lighter weight, but it does the job, and it's nice, fairly comfortable. This one definitely is the more comfortable of the two. They both do have these nice little pull loops here, so when you put your finger in one, it helps you to open the zip, and I found that's very handy, especially when you're walking along. So like if you're at the airport and you wanted to put something in there as you're walking along through the queue, for example, you don't have to put the bag down to open it. You can just pop your finger in there and hold the bag up and open it, which is very handy. So this top pocket here is actually quite small. It's fairly shallow and it's only that big. So only really big enough for perhaps a pair of sunglasses and a wallet or something like that. Whereas the one here on the Venture Ready, you also have the finger loops. Interestingly, the zip goes the opposite direction, but this one has vastly more space. And I'll just show you what I've put in here. I've put sunglasses, power bank, wet wipes, which are essential, charging cable, wallet, and that's pretty much everything I have in that top one. Now these straps also are pretty much the same. They both have this sort of mesh on the back, which is padded on both of them. Though this one feels slightly more, but they are basically the same. They both have a nice little detail of the Bellroy owl there. They also both do have this loop here, which is also good for putting a carabiner or your sunglasses or other items such as, attaching a torch or a flashlight. Now they both also do have this here, which is sort of like a really minimal sternum strap. You can see it actually just loops through this hook here, which you can unloop it easily to change it to one of the three positions. And then this side has like a hook on it, and then that just hooks there like that. So it's actually, I found it to be quite useful, and it does work well, although you do have to kind of adjust it every time you put it on. You kind of have to hold it and get it out, and then when you're not using it, you sort of want to hang it there. You kind of want to just hang it on one of these up ones, just so that's not hanging and dangling in your way. Now speaking of dangling, both of them also do have this nice little strap keeper here. It's a little plastic loop here, and that keeps the straps from flapping around, and I found it to be quite useful. It does do the job quite well, and it's the same on both bags, although this one feels like it's a bit tighter and firmer. Both the bags have the same mesh on the back, although you can see the Venture one has two lines here, which might help for channeling the airflow a little bit more, whereas this just has a single line. Now taking a look at the sides of the bag, this is probably going to be where most people will make their choice on which they want to purchase. So this one does not have a water bottle pocket on the outside, which I personally don't mind, but I know a lot of people like that. This one does, and so I've just put this Mimo bottle in there. I did a previous review on that, and it's quite nice, has an elastic here, but this one does have a pull loop on the bottom here, which is also good for attaching a carabiner like this, whereas this one doesn't actually have that. It doesn't have the loops here either. which is interesting because the Venture Ready bag did have the loops here, which I found really handy for pulling the zip up and down. So in a future version of this, I would actually quite like to see the loops here. I do think it is very useful. Now on this side, it's the same. You have a pull loop and then nothing else. So they probably could have put a little extra pocket there or something, but it's nice and minimal, keeps it lightweight. So taking a look back at the front here, this one definitely has more of a classic backpack design. And on the inside, you'll find basically it has an interesting layout. So you have like a pocket here, and inside that pocket you have a key strap. And then this is also a rear pocket, which you could put like a laptop or documents that goes all the way down. And then down the bottom here, you have some smaller pockets. So like one elastic one here, and then one smaller one here. So you could probably put like a phone or, you know, a power bank. It fits in there quite nicely. Even a water bottle perhaps in this one. And one of the hidden features on these Bellroy bags is that this large label here, actually on the back, has a little space of pocket, so you could put an air tag in here. So that's what that's actually for, is an air tag. Very nice little feature there. That's pretty much it for this one on the inside. This one is pretty simple, but I did find that this one was actually quite comfortable to carry, and when it was packed, it had a nice silhouette on the back as well. So I definitely think that this one is a really nice day bag. So because it is light, I think that it's one of the best ones to kind of carry in another bag if you wanted to have like a lighter, smaller bag for taking with you on your destination. So let's take a look at this one. I showed you what was in this front pocket here. If we look inside the main compartment, it doesn't open quite as far down as this one, but you still get a fair amount of access. So probably best to show it this way around. What I packed in here is just kind of a light version of what I'd carry on a main backpack. So like a toiletries and some tech case and tech items. And then just a clothing cube here with just like a couple of clothes, not the full amount that I would usually take. But then you can see in here, that's the pocket that takes up the space on the front. And it actually expands to the front, so it doesn't expand into the main compartment, which is quite good. And here you do have a little loop, which is for attaching a water bladder in the back here, because this is the venture or you know, kind of hiking backpack. They want you to put a bladder here, but you could also put a laptop down here. The inside of this one is much more sparse. That's basically all you get, no additional pockets. But it is also, I have found this one to be very nice and comfortable to wear. Now in terms of water resistance, they do have these AquaGuard zippers. And I was actually caught in a downpour with this bag, probably for about 10 minutes of fairly heavy rain, and the water actually didn't get inside. But I feel like if you were in the rain for any longer than that, the water actually might get inside. The reason is because these seams aren't actually tape sealed, so the water would eventually get through the stitches here and make their way in between the stitches. But just for like a light shower or getting caught in quick rain, this does a pretty good job of that. And I imagine this one would be very similar because it has an actual cover that goes over the zipper as well. So that's it, pretty much just a quick look at both of these bags and my thoughts on them. I have found that both of them have been good. If I had to choose one, it's quite difficult, but I probably would go with this one because I do like the organization you get in this front pocket. It's kind of quicker and easier to access, but both of them do offer a nice sort of bag for the price and the money you're paying. So thanks very much for watching. Do leave any questions or comments down below, and I'll see you next one.